Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today I would like to read to you from a book that I have been reading. And the book is called How to Stitch an American Dream. Now, if you're a quilter, chances are you have heard of Jenny Doan. So this is a book all about her life up to now, where she does have this wonderful business called Missouri Star. I want to read a little bit of the book to you. The first thing I want to read is something that she says right at the very beginning. And she says, whether we like it or not, the moments we remember, and even some we want to forget, all get stitched together over time. Those separate little pieces form the fabric of our lives and often help us prepare for what lies ahead. Now, Jenny definitely had an interesting life, but one thing she did have was great parents that gave her great guidance as she was growing up. And one thing that her mother did say to her, and I think this is something just awesome to live by, she said, and I want you to always remember this, do the best you can and be happy for those that can do better. I think that is just an awesome quote. Now, Jenny was a typical child, and every once in a while she would get in trouble, and one time her mother got called into school. And this is a little about what happened. Jenny, you do not show disrespect to your teachers. She told me to apologize for that right there, and I did. But then she turned back and looked straight at the teacher and said, now my daughter is going to write her name anyway she pleases. So she definitely had a lot of support from her mother and father. And that definitely helped her through many years of her life. And they were not always easy times. So the move to Missouri came quite interesting. One day she comes home and she walked in and called out, Ron, I'm home. Hey, how you doing? He shouted back. Ron was out of the garage in his workshop. So I came around the corner and said to him, Ron, I think we're supposed to move to Missouri. He was busy working on something at his workbench, but he whirled around and looked at me in the face and said, I know. You know, I said. How do you know? I had that feeling the whole time you've been gone, that we're supposed to take our family and move to Missouri. Where would we go, I asked, and Ron pulled out an old map, opened it up, and randomly placed his finger on it. We will go right here, he said. What is there, I asked. He moved his finger, and we saw that he landed in what looked like the middle of nowhere, near a little town called Hamilton. So they got ready and picked up the entire family and headed out to Missouri. Now, they were not snow people, and they chose the wrong time of year to move, which was February. Along the way, the snow in the headlights was coming at us so hard and fast, it looked like a scene from Star Wars, like we were making a jump into light speed. We couldn't see a thing. We had to pull off the side because our big giant van was sliding off the road. But then on the side of the road, we were scared that another car or big truck would come barreling down of the road and slide right into us. All night I worried, are we going to die? Looking back at it now, I think, holy smokes, I can't believe we did that. But the snow stopped and we finally made it to the outskirts of Hamilton. March 2, 1995. All we saw were farms and fields. There was nothing there. I put on a really good face and I kept thinking, oh my gosh, what have we done? So the whole family moved in and they definitely had trials and tribulations. And then many years later, in her 50s, she had a conversation with her son named Alan, and it went like this. I don't know, I said. I'm getting older. I don't know if I could learn a whole new thing. I finally said, Alan, here's what you have to realize. Quilting is a hobby. This would be just filling up my time, and I'm not okay with just filling up the next 50 years. I need to do something that matters. Well, she still wasn't in love with the whole idea, but I did love my kids, and making them happy always made me happy. So, of course, we know what happened. The whole family came together to get that shop up and running. We opened the doors for business the fall of 2008. The Missouri Star Company was born. Now, it was not an easy setup, I can assure you, but it definitely made her show her strength and the family unit. And one of the last things in the book, she says, I look over at Ron and I looked around in this beautiful family that we made. I looked back at my granddaughter and pulled her in for a great big hug, and I nodded. All right then, I said, I will. This is a story about a woman with extraordinary circumstances that never lost the positivity in her life. Now, I met Jenny a couple of years ago, and I can honestly say she's definitely a very positive woman. And one thing she says in her book that I definitely agree with is, it's not too late. It's never too late. How do I know? Thank you, Jenny, for sending me this book. It has been a wonderful read. And if you are looking for an inspirational book, an uplifting book, this is definitely something you might enjoy. Thank you for joining me today on So Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe on my Facebook, Instagram, and I do have a newsletter, all under So Very Easy. Come on back. Let's see what we're talking about next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.